Hello, welcome back to Deepaji Talks. We all know that Ramayana is one of the greatest epic. It was first written by sage Valmiki. There are different regional versions of the Ramayana written in various languages by various authors. Today, I'm going to narrate two incidents that happened in the life of the two most important authors of Ramayana, sage Valmiki and sage Tulsidas. Maharishi Valmiki was the first to write Ramayana in Sanskrit and is also referred to as the Ādi Kavi or the first poet because he was believed to have come up with the format of shloka, a Sanskrit verse or poem form that has been used to compose various other epics and Puranas. Now, let me tell you a quick story about how Valmiki got to write Ramayana. Valmiki was born to sage Prachetasa and was given the name Ratnakara by his parents. It is said that when Ratnakara was only a few years old, he wandered into the forest and got lost. The young boy was found by a hunter who adopted and raised him. Under his foster father's care, Ratnakara also grew up to become an accomplished hunter. With time, Ratnakara got married and he became a father to many children. The expansion of his family became difficult for the hunter Ratnakara to make ends meet. As a result, out of desperation, he took to robbery and began looting travelers who passed by his area. One day, sage Narada was passing by the forest where Ratnakara lived. Ratnakara attacked Narada, intending to rob him. Narada was the son of Brahma and he was never afraid of anyone. He saw God in all living beings and loved everyone. He looked kindly into the eyes of the hunter and asked why he was committing the sin of robbing others. And Ratnakara replied, to feed his family. To this, Narada said, Ratnakara, go and ask your family if they will also share the sins you are committing to take care of them. The robber instantly replied, of course they will. But Narada shook his head in disagreement and said, no, they will not. If you have any doubt, go and ask your wife and children. The robber was suspicious. He thought maybe Narada was playing a trick to escape him. After tying Narada to a tree, Ratnakara returned to his family and asked every member if they were willing to share his sins. His family disagreed. They said that it was his responsibility to earn for them and that they had nothing to do with how he earned the money. Heartbroken, Ratnakara returned to Narada, fell at his feet, and pleaded him to help and save him from all the sins he had committed. Narada asked him to meditate and chant repeatedly a word that is going on in his mind that moment, with all his mind and soul. The hunter started chanting the word Mara Mara Mara, meaning death, since that was the only word looming in his head as he felt very let down. But as fate would have it, the word Mara, when repeated in quick succession, became Rama 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 Rama. Without even realizing it, the robber was repeating the holy name of Lord Rama, forgetful of where he was. He sat like that for ages without moving and without opening his eyes. Years passed away. Ant hills grew around him until they covered him completely. This long penance washed away all the robber's sins. There is a saying that Rama required a bridge to cross the ocean, but Hanuman, who chanted Ram's name repeatedly, did not even require a bridge to cross the ocean. Such is the power of chanting Ram's name. Ratnakara, at last within his heart, saw the beautiful form of Lord Rama. Overflowing with joy, he rose from his seat, knocking down all the ant hills around him. Because he rose from ant hills, he came to be called Valmiki. Valmika meaning ant hills in Sanskrit. Valmiki started living on the banks of the Ganges, leading a hermit life. Once the sage went to bathe in the river Tamasa. His eyes fell on a pair of herons, the crowned birds, by the riverside. As Valmiki was watching the birds, an arrow from a hunter struck and killed the male bird. The female bird cried out in sorrow. On seeing what happened to the birds, out of pain and anger, Valmiki cursed the hunter in a poetic verse. But later he was surprised at his own choice of words, for it was not his usual way of speaking. These words contained a rhythm, a melody, and was grammatically perfect. He realized that it was a poem that came out of his heart's sadness. It was the first poem that he had ever composed. In fact, it was the first shloka in the history of world, for no one had written down any poetry before that day. When Maharishi returned to his ashram after this incident, he was visited by Lord Brahma. Lord blessed Valmiki and gave him the task of writing Ramayana. And thus Valmiki composed the great epic Ramayana, the life story of Lord Rama. Valmiki's story is one of inner transformation. The journey from being a bandit to becoming a Brahma Rishi is a testament to the human capacity for differentiating right from wrong and making most of the opportunity offered to redeem oneself. The next story we are going to see also tells us clearly that everything is possible by deep devotion to the Lord. It's from the life of Tulsidas, who is best known as the author of Hanuman Chalisa. He also wrote the epic RamCharitaManas, a retelling of the Sanskrit Ramayana in the vernacular Ādi language. He is believed to be the reincarnation of Valmiki in the Kali Yuga. Now let me tell you the incident where Tulsidas gets to meet Lord Ram and Hanuman. The incident dates back to the 15th century. Tulsidas spent most of his time at Varanasi. Tulsidas used to visit the woods outside Varanasi for his morning ablutions with a water pot. On his return, he used to offer the remaining water to a certain tree. Regular watering to the tree incidentally quenched the thirst of a preta, a spirit who was believed to be ever thirsty for water residing in that tree. The satisfied preta appeared before Tulsidas and offered him a boon to grant his wish, to which Tulsidas asked for a means to meet Lord Ram. The preta was taken aback and said that this boon was beyond his powers. However, the preta said that he could guide Tulsidas to Hanuman, who could grant the boon Tulsidas wished for. The preta revealed to Tulsidas that Hanuman comes every day disguised in a mean attire of a leper to listen to Tulsidas' Ramkatha, and added that he is the first person to arrive and last to leave. That evening, Tulsidas noted that the first listener to arrive at his discourse was an old leper who sat at the end of the gathering. After the katha was over, Tulsidas quietly followed the leper to the woods. In the woods, at the exact spot where the Sankat Mochan temple stands today, Tulsidas fell at the leper's feet and merely shouted, "I know who you are, and now you cannot escape me." Initially, the leper pretended ignorance, but Tulsidas' relentless begging persuaded him to reveal his original form. Lord Hanuman, after revealing his original form, blessed Tulsidas. Tulsidas begged Lord Hanuman's mercy to help him meet Lord Ram. Hanuman was moved by his devotion and told him to go to Chitrakuta, where Tulsidas would get to see Rama with his own eyes. Tulsidas followed the instruction of Hanuman and started living in an ashram at the Chitrakoot Dham. One day, Tulsidas went to perform the parikrama, the circumambulation of the Kamadagiri mountain. He saw two princes, one dark and the other fair, dressed in green robes, pass by the mountain on horsebacks. Tulsidas felt enormous joy at the sight. However, since he could not recognize them, took his eyes off. Later, when Hanuman asked Tulsidas if he saw Rama and his brother Lakshmana on horses, he was so disappointed and repentful for not able to capitulate on the opportunity given. Hanuman assured Tulsidas that he would have the sight of Rama once again. The next morning, Ram again appeared before Tulsidas, this time as a child. Tulsidas was making sandalwood paste when a child came and asked some paste from him. Fearing that Tulsidas might miss this opportunity again, Hanuman, in the form of a parrot, hinted him by singing a song from a nearby tree. चित्रकूट के घाट पर भाई संतन की बीड, तुलसीदास चंदन गिसाई तिलक करत रघुवीर, which simply means there is a mass accumulation of saints at the ghat of Chitrakoot, and Tulsidas rubs the sandalwood and Sri Rama anoints himself. Hearing this, Tulsidas looked up in surprise and saw the enchanting form of Lord Ram standing in front of him. His mind merged with Sri Rama completely. When Sri Ram asked Tulsi for the paste again, Tulsi was unable to move or speak. The Lord then bent down and with his own hand took a little of the sandalwood paste, put it on Tulsi's forehead, and disappeared. Tulsi was in a deep trance, oblivious of his surroundings. Slowly he recovered, but was unable to return to ordinary consciousness till the night. As far as records go, this was the first time Tulsi had experienced the Samadhi or God realization. Though Tulsidas was born in Kali Yuga, he was able to see Lord Ram and Hanuman. So why can't we? It depends on you and only you. I'm sure the two stories would have awakened a spiritual desire within you. I will meet you again with another episode of such wonderful stories that lead us to our Lord. Thank you and have a blessed day.